question no one else is asking except our next guest. How many Americans have been killed in Ukraine? How many Americans have been killed in the war in Gaza, in the Middle East? Well, this is a story they don't want to talk about, and they certainly don't want to bring attention to the fact that American soldiers are being killed in Ukraine or in the Middle East right now. Where's the cover-up? Our next guest spent 22 years working at the CIA. He's written 4 books on how the United States shouldn't be involved in these wars in the Middle East, how the United States shouldn't be involved in this war in Ukraine. This is probably not a popular subject at his former place of employment at the CIA, but now he's trying to warn all of us that we should keep our nose out of these other countries' business. My guest is Michael Scheuer, 22 years at the CIA, and Michael and I go back many, many years when I had a chance to interview him many, many times when I worked at Fox News. Great to see you, and thank you for the work that you're doing. I mean, this is a rare commodity for you to have worked in the federal government and been speaking out against us sticking our nose where it doesn't belong. Welcome back to the show, Michael. Great to see you.
Thank you, sir. A pleasure to be back. I'm grateful for you for the invitation.
So how did you come to, first of all, we'll get into the American piece of this in a second, because you just wrote a blog post about, Americans being killed in these war zones that we're not hearing about on any newspaper or any nightly broadcast in the United States. It's being kept from us. I want to get to that in a second. But how did, first of all, working 22 years at the CIA, did you come to this way of thinking this can't be a popular position? I mean, I think the point of the CIA is to be involved in other countries, and here you are saying we need to keep our nose out of this.
Well, I spent, for my sins, most of my career working on Afghanistan or terrorism, and I saw what intervention could do for the Russians. We really didn't win the war in Afghanistan. We just armed the people who beat the Red Army to dust, really.
In the 1980s.
In the 1980s. And I have always been of the opinion, since I was at university, part of my dissertation was on this issue, that America does not have good diplomacy. It is not cognizant of the world. We don't know how other people's work. And since the end of World War II, our foreign policy consists of providing bribery to foreign countries and being arrogant. And so we never win. We haven't won a war since 1945. We went to Afghanistan and spent 20 years because they didn't realize the major thing we had to do after we were attacked on 9/11 was to close the border. Because what bin Laden wanted to do is never to have to do 9/11 again. It's too much of a problem, too much of a risk, too much of a risk that it'll be stopped ahead of time. So I wrote in one of the books, I wrote, for the American people, they have to understand that everything we do in Iraq or in Afghanistan against Al-Qaeda is pointless if you don't close the border.